Great day, so family. Take a deep breath in, inhaling your state of consciousness, allowing anything that would hold you in the unconscious state to be released as you exhale that breath on this Master Alchemist Monday. Here we are, standing in our faith, knowing who we are, rich royal beings born into a bankrupt world, understanding that we are the very crafters. Pearl. Here we are, here we are, here we are. The very ones who were chosen to shine through the darkness, for we understand and know the dark, for we were created from the very matter and opened up the fiery spark. Aboriginal from the start, crown to the sole of your feet. Rich royal beings, here we are, sit in your throneful seat. Welcome to Master Alchemist Monday as you continue to glow, grow in all the glee that is destined for thee. Understanding that chaos could be all around thee, but never afflicted will you be. Never neglected have you been, and here you are. So family, my sister, my brother, my niece or nephew, I am your soul sister, and to some TT2 La Bruja Monet, I want to welcome you to the house. Welcome to the house. I say welcome to the house where the divine is here right now, and I allow them to channel through. Ooh, welcome to the house. I say welcome to the house. Yes, it is a channeled message, and I got some healing with the acronyms. I say welcome to the house. Now, for those of you who have been following La Bruja Monet, from the beginning or the middle or to now, I understand there are some new. I want to say welcome again. And for those of you who are new, we are in our space after the tornado, and I have much gratitude and grace for those of you who have sent energetic donations, monetary donations. I say thank you. I thank you for those high frequency energetic donations that you vibrated to me as I was on my journey of recovery. For those of you who are new, I did lose everything. I did. But I gained clarity, and that is where I find my serenity and peace. Okay? All right. 333 on that timer. For those of you who've been on this journey with me, I thank you. I do have those that second series to the acronyms of healing what they left behind with the notebook session. The first one was on empath and narcissist. And if you follow, or if you would like to follow, for those of you who are new, you can go over to the House of La Bruja Monet on YouTube and catch that particular segment. It is titled in the title notebook session. So it's the last one that says that. Excuse me. And there were some things that happened that were out of my control, and I couldn't record the way that I had perceived that, or that I had visioned it to be. And I had to let go and understand that what needed prioritize what needed me the most in those moments. It was myself and my child, myself and my children, myself and my grandchildren. So I had to go into that mode where I didn't overgive with them, where I was empty. And you know, so I had to find that balance. And in that balance, I was reminded of how God, Source, infinite ones, the infinite creators, had held me. And I want to say this, even in that storm, before the storm, and all of that was there, I'm going to share this with you. That very storm was the clarity that I had called in. I couldn't see it right then and there because everything that I had was gone. So I perceived. But then there was a voice that reminded me. You called upon me in your tumultuous state. And I answered, and here you are, standing on a foundation that is greater than this physical state. You were taught and conditioned to look and receive God through man. But life has brought you to this new land where you will receive the Most High in the remembrance of your spirit man. Infinite One. Trust the process. And I'm gonna leave that right there. Yes, turn the page. Did you see the came right up? Okay. Now this is the channeled message. You are a conduit for higher dimensions and realms. And some realms marvel and dance before your light and power due to their desire of needing you to host their legions in exchange for their elusive creations and worldly fortunes. You are aware of all realms. You have protectors in all realms. 80% of the population don't see. 10% don't see, but they feel it. It scares them. But they are addicted to the feeling. So be aware as you continue in your Fred Astaire, start spreading the news. Then the last 10 splits to 5-5. 5% can see it, feel it, even smell the experience of your energy, but will be committed to misunderstanding you due to their perceptions of themselves. That last 5% are your soul family, and I can tell you whether it was shared or the algorithm just hit. They are your soul family, and that is why we are here. The Divine Council calls us the connectors, the channels, the conduits, the creators' convent on earth. Now, the first acronym on this Master Alchemist Monday is connectors. Connecting omnisciently, nurturing and discerning, unbiased initiates of the Most High. Connecting omnisciently, nurturing and discerning, unbiased initiates of the Most High. Yes, conduits, conduits, conduits. That's what you are. Yes, and I'm grateful to have this communing with you. Moving forward. Moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. I will say this before we go into the next acronym. We do have a frequency playing, and it is the Tibetan bows. It eliminates all negativity. Allow yourself to embrace as we commune and embrace all that the higher realms have to give in this 420 congregational space. This is a 420 friendly family for those of you who are new. And if you 420, then go ahead and spark up, because here we are. In the new, and we thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah, it is a playlist for today, and it's a hype one. I couldn't play it in the background because I would have been dancing, and there it's a frequency, but it's uplifting. It's your reminder. It's the very remembrance that you hold in your root, in your crown, in your third eye, in your soul, in your spirit, in your sacral. Listen, your chakras. You are a chakra system. You are an extension, an imagery, oh my goodness, of the infinite one, the most high. Yes, yes you are. Whew. The incarnation of God, I say. Okay, so the second acronym, I'm going to say, is especially for those who are going through any type of grief and loss, and you are seeking wise counsel through prayer, meditation, however you connect, affirmations, confirmations. This acronym was created for you on how to process the grief and loss stage and alchemize it with your passionate purpose. You are the novel and the author of this new. Your story is calling you. However that falls for you, I know there are a lot of creators here. That's even why we have gathered here. So I'm going to give you the acronym, and then we're going to go in just a little more. Excuse me for the lipstick on my teeth. I didn't know it was there, but thank you. Grief. Grievous, resentful, empty, incoherent, fragile, and hyper-focused on the loss. I'm going to say it one more time. Grievous, resentful, empty, incoherent, fragile, and hyper-focused on the loss. This could be person, place, or thing. It can be persons, places, or things. And I'm going to give you an example, an analogy. I had a client, 418 on time. What's up, Pops? I had a client transition from this earthly realm, and I had to tap into my knowing, because that hit home like similar to Pops, you know. And this young man was an old soul who 444 on that time, and who encouraged me in my mothering and my motherhood. He was younger than me in the physical age. But when it comes to the ethos, That soul was older than this thing. 505 on the timer. And those tears, and it just fell. They fell. But those tears weren't tears of sadness. Those tears were tears of gratitude. Because those very things and values that he held, he shared with me. And he wasn't one who just, I'm finna grab you and talk to you. No. He had to be led. And I understood that. And I understood that favor brought us together. Because what? His young and earthly age, but old soul knew my womb needed when it came to being a mother. And I want to say thank you, Corey Shorter, for sharing the value of life with me, that you represented in your Christ-like energy. The second wait. Allowing those very memories of grief to be. Extracting the happiest, valuablest, joyous memories that you know to be. Declaring and decreeing that you know your loved one is free. In the words of Ty Tribbett, one day, in your timing, shall be. But you getting up and declaring and decreeing that novel of waters that run within thee, as you live in it is well with my soul, receiving from the infinite grace of the I am, as you declare, decree, and glow with the glee of agape love that you not only reflect, but you receive. Looming obsessively in the shadows, seeking a different outcome. And this is that part of grief and loss that has you looking like, what could I have done? What should I have done? Persons, places, or things. Looming obsessively in the shadows, seeking different outcomes. How have you found yourself looming obsessively in the shadows, seeking a different outcome when it comes to grief and loss? And how can you transmute, alchemize those very shadows and process the reality in the here and the now? Allowing the outcome to be for you in a stand. It was outside of your control. But the novel of waters you hold are declaring and decreeing that you shall live on. My goodness, thank you for that message, divine ones. Gang, gang. I say gang. Yeah, we in the gang. 'Cause see, grief and loss attempted to hold us. And that perception changed when we understood that we should live on and let the waters hold us. In that ebb and flow of knowing everything that we declare and decree shall be, and that which is out of our control we shall not hold on to. For this very experience of life is faith, spirituality, and allowing yourself to connect with the gift of humanity. Knowing that this bankrupt world could never value the riches and the royalties of the infinite creator's pearl. But in understanding that 5% that you were called into creation to connect with, as you declare and decree, the novel begins within, gaining in freedom as you understand that the mind is where it all starts. Yes. And rewiring it is the first part. Gain. Grids generating alignment internally and externally. Inventing the spark for new neurons to fire up that innate creator. Yes. Oh, yeah. See what I'm saying? Now, had I had that playlist on, I'm telling y'all, I wouldn't have been able to, because it would have been just how it works around here. Divine things always happening. One of them songs that hype me up, hype me up, hype me up, hype me up, that I be in my gratitude moment in this house. You heard me, with my music, just grateful because I know what it was when that tornado hit and I was sitting in my living room, y'all. Sitting in my living room, watching Lucifer send the legions back to hell. They wanted him to come, but he wouldn't go because he had a mission to fulfill. And I'm not going to go into that 333 on a timer. For those of you who watch Lucifer, you know what it is. For those of you who don't, it is what it is. I ain't for that. But I ain't here for that, to argue or debate. It is what it is. But we were sitting there watching that, and woof, the house started shaking. And it's shaking in a way that I've never experienced. So my first mind is hit the bathroom, because I couldn't get to the basement. So I'm grabbing my family and we get in that bathroom. And I said, God, ancestors. And that whole house was rocking. Debris was flying in our eyes. But I knew once I cried out, 418 on that timer, everything was going to be fine, even when my physical eye couldn't see it, because my spiritual eye had already been activated. So this storm was not going to take me down, for I understood my vision, my purpose, my mission was greater. So here I am. I'm still standing, and I'm going to call on that which I know to call, for my faith has grounded me there. And when I say, even when I spoke that I was not okay because I was in that space, and I was given what I needed in that space, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually and financially, I knew I could still stay unmasked. And that's when I began to feel again. And the gain happened on a level where my faith grew from that little mustard seed. I became the little engine that could and didn't give a damn who wanted to misunderstood. I was just a soul who was misunderstood. I had to go within and flicker the lights after grief and loss attempted to set in, taking that gain. Grids generating alignment internally and externally, inventing the spark for new neurons to fire up that innate creator. And that concludes the notebook session, even the lyrical therapy and the channeled messages. As you move forward in whatever it is that you're gaining in this season, knowing that life is the very experience that you novelly hold. As you create in the here and the now, alchemizing and rewiring the perception of self first, because you didn't lose anything. You gained a valuable and majestic experience. And we may not have all grief and lost in the same shoe store. No, excuse me. We may have not all grief and lost in the same shoes, but the same shoe store of grief and loss we are in. Yeah. So I do understand. And we can relate as we gain in this new land. I am your soul sister, Monet. And as I continue, soul sister, T, and to some, mama, 828 on that time. Grateful I am, too. Here I am, and here you are in this new. And I'm grateful. And if anything is exuded in this, it's gratitude. Not only for me, but for you. And I'm grateful for my soul family. Not the titles, but the authentic love.